One. So sorry for the delay. This is a thing with network. We've been ready almost an hour, but network won't let us start the class. So here we are. We just have to keep moving, no matter the obstacles. All right. So without further ado, let's just get into. Let's just go straight into things. Okay. So we are taking POL221, continuation of the course, and we'll be looking at the criticism. Good evening, Miss Regina. It's good to have you on board. We'll be looking at the criticism of indirect rule system. We started the indirect rule system already in our last class. And this was something introduced by Sir Frederick Lord Lugard. And today, we're taking our bearing from the criticism of this system. And from there, we'll go into other things. All right. So with this being said, let's hop straight into it. So I have on the comment section, I have Miss Madam Lola says, good evening, sir. Thank God we are back. Great to have you back too. Miss Regina said, thank you for your effort. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you. Miss Justina says, good evening. And here we have our start of class. So we have POL 221, and we'll be looking at the criticism. All right, criticism against amalgamation. All right, against amalgamation. All right, so the indirect rule, we said something about that in our last class, and we were made to understand that this indirect rule ushers in deceit. All right, deceit in the sense that local rulers are kept in. Right, local rulers are allowed to remain in their position of authority. All right, but unfortunately, they are just figureheads. All right, they don't make decisions of their own. Right, their decisions, what they do, are basically influenced by the colonial masters. All right, so the system of indirect rule ushers in, all right, comes in as a subterfuge. All right, it's deceptive. All right, so and we were also made to understand that this indirect system also ushered in the amalgamation of the northern and the southern protectorate, which is in 1914. So now let's look at some criticism. And this amalgamation led to the creation of Nigeria. All right, it's actually one of the processes that led to the creation of Nigeria. All right, so now during the time of amalgamation, we have colonies and protectorates. All right, it is not, all right, the large space of land and communities and groups are not yet totally regarded as Nigeria. All right, we still have colonies and protectorates. All right, so not long after the amalgamation led to the naming of the country Nigeria, but that's not what we are looking at tonight. What we want to first look at is the criticism, all right, that is associated with this with the amalgamation, meaning the joining together. All right, now the unification policy introduced by Lord Lugard, all right, amalgamation, also seen as let me just amalgamation is also seen as the unification, all right, policy. So they might want to twist the question. Okay, they might want to twist the question. That is also referred to as the unification policy introduced in 1914. All right, they are still talking about amalgamation. Don't forget the intention of bringing the northern and southern protectorate. All right, the intention is not the intention basically was just to save cost. All right, and also have this two different, all right, entities working together, bringing them together in one place so that the exploitation and whatsoever that is being done there, all right, it's just like having two different branches coming together so that you can oversee them properly, so that proper overseeing and management can be done. All right, so to Lord Lugard, it tagged its unification policy. All right, so to look at all the criticism that this received tonight. All right, so the unification policy introduced by Lord Lugard in 1940 was received by Africans, all right, in the northern and the southern, all right, in the north and in the south with mixed feeling. All right, this policy, all right, was received. All right, it's just that this so-called unification policy, all right, how can you call something unification, all right, when you have not sought, all right, the concept itself? It means the voluntary, all right, we can refer to this as, all right, unification has to be voluntary. Unification is not imposed. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm the one getting it wrong. Please, class, is unification, can unification, or let me not say can, should unification, all right, or amalgamation be imposed? Maybe I should give it to us as an assignment with not less than 5,000 words. Explain this. Do we agree? Miss Regina, are you there? Miss Oluwadamilola, Mr. Joseph, do we agree? Should we have this as our assignment? Or basically just give me a straightforward answer. Should unification, all right, or amalgamation be imposed? Should it be imposed? All right, because that is what it seemed to me. Okay, the northern and southern, all right, protectorates, all right, are different protectorates that works perfectly on their own. All right, so bringing them together, was it a good idea or not? All right, let's not forget it is this unification that led, all right, to the process of having Nigeria. Okay, so this unification, it is supposed to be imposed, all right, it is supposed to be in place at first. Okay, so now it was accepted, it was received with mixed feelings. With mixed feelings. Exactly. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Joseph. It's not supposed to be imposed. Now, basically, this unification, this so-called unification, was seen as a lopsided, all right, was seen, it is regarded as lopsided, all right, and unthinkable, all right. Educational elites, educated elites, sees the unification as, all right, lopsided, all right, and unthinkable all right. Educated elites, all right, sees this unification as when we say lopsided, what are we talking about? We are talking about one side lower or smaller than the other, all right. It is not balanced. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Justina. All right, it is not supposed to be one-sided and unthinkable. These are different protectorates, all right, that has a different system entirely. Like okay, was it in this course? Okay, it was in POL221. All right, when we were made to understand that the three socio-ethnic groups in Nigeria, according to the colonial era, all right, so the Nigeria was grouped into three different, all right, three different political societies, all right. Now the first is the northern, which has Bornu and Bornu, the Caliphate, all right, of Bornu and Sokoto, all right, operating with Sharia, with the Sharia law, all right, and having a centralized kind of system, all right, whereby instructions have been received from the Caliphate, all right. And we have in the western part, whereby the system that works for them is more of monarchs, all right, monarchical system where they have obas, all right, a little bit decentralized but not totally decentralized, whereby the head has to consult with his, all right, with his councils before decision can be made, all right, unlike the northern part whereby it's more of centralized system, all right. And in the eastern part where we have the totally decentralized system, all right, and putting all this into consideration, all right, an individual just feels and deem it fit to bring these three different societies, all right, together and refer to them as whatever it is he deemed fit, all right. Definitely a lot of crisis, all right, which has led to where we are today, all right, because all these things we are teaching in class is not just for us to acquire knowledge, it's for us to trace our problem back to the roots, all right. Bringing these three different societies together in what you are calling in what you tag unification policy. Basically, it's what it is, all right. Basically, it is what it is. Thank you for that, all right. Basically, it is what it is. So this unification policy receives a lot of criticism, all right, from the educated elite, not just them. Right, let's continue. Now, the political elite also condemned the over concentration. Now, when these two protectorates are brought together, power then become over concentrated. Before there were two different protectorates, although, all right, overseen by an head, but now that these two protectorates are now being brought together, power then become over concentrated on who? Governor General in person of Lugard. Are we together? One of the criticism also is that condemned over concentration of power, all right, of powers in the Governor General over vast territory. All right, general over vast territories, and unfortunately, all right, he had little knowledge. You can imagine having power over an office you barely know nothing about. Have we not seen cases like that in our politics today? A lot of political leaders, a lot of political head occupying an office, all right, a lot of political head assigned the responsibility of managing an office has little or no idea about that ministry, has little or no idea about that office. How would that person function? How would that person not be, how would such a leader not be manipulated easily? All right. So you can imagine combining the protectorates, bringing them together, And this protectorate, the reason why they were even individual, we have colonies and we have protectorate, right? We can refer to as protectorate under a colony. Let's not forget, protectorate is a society, all right, that enjoys the benefit of protection, all right, from a superior society, all right. So now the colony now is more of a society as well, that is being controlled by an external, all right, authority, not from the locality of the colony. Are we together? So these protectorates were separated. You can imagine a protectorate now having a head, another protectorate having a head, and these two protectorates will still report to the colony, all right, and the head of the colony will still report to the major, all right, to the major instructor. Now you are bringing these colonies together under the governor general. Governor general definitely cannot oversee the activities going on properly, all right, in each of these protectorates, and things will go wrong. Okay, Ms. Justina said, yeah, that's what is happening in the country. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for your Miss Regina. Are you on the stream? Because I'm not seeing your responses. All right. So he said having concentration of power in the governor general, right, over vast territories, okay, which he had little or no idea, little or which he had little knowledge. All right, please, I believe we all have our writing materials and we are taking down all these points. All right, please, immediately after the class, do well to take a picture of your notes and send it to the class. All right, so let's continue. Okay, also, one of the critics is that, all right, even apart from African elites, right? Apart from African, all right, elites, some colonial officials alike also criticize his decision. All right, the likes of Sir Hogg Clifford, all right, the likes of Sir Hogg Clifford also condemned, right, Sir Lord Lugard decision. All right, so basically that is it. So let's look at the Clifford. All right, let's look at the Clifford Constitution. Okay, permit me to erase this. Now, Clifford Sir Hogg, that's Clifford, all right, assumes office in 1912. Assumed office in 1912. All right. Now, and a new order by Nigerian Legislative, all right, Nigerian Legislative Council, all right, which came effect, all right, a new order by the Nigerian Legislative Council, all right, brought in Sir Clifford, all right, into office. Now, let's take note of this point. The Clifford Constitution all right, the Clifford Constitution of 1922, all right, the Clifford Constitution of 1922, all right, became effective, all right, by the order, all right, of Nigerian Legislative Council, all right, in 1923. Okay, now this Clifford Constitution, are we together, opened, all right, the pathway of constitutional development in Nigeria. Opened, all right, opened the epoch, all right, on the epoch of constitutional development in Nigeria. All right, the Clifford Constitution of 1922, all right, opened the epoch, all right, of constitutional development in Nigeria. All right, and when we say epoch, we're talking about something notable, all right, notable in history. Now, Clifford emerged, all right, the Legislative Council, all right, Clifford emerged the Legislative all right, Clifford emerged Legislative Council, all right, meant for the colony of Lagos with Nigeria Council to become a new one under the new ordinance. Now, Clifford emerged the Legislative Council, all right, of Lagos colony, all right, and he brought together the Legislative Council of Lagos colony, all right, and the Nigerian Council, all right, to become one. Under a new ordinance, all right, it brought together Lagos colony and Nigerian Council to become, all right. Now, the Nigerian Council, all right, is made up of official members, 27. Now let's note this point. Excuse me. All right. One, 27 official members. All right. Official members that are Africans. All right. 2, 9 unofficial, all right, non-Africans, all right, unofficial members, all right. We also have these unofficial members are the non-African that are unofficial members, non-Africans. All right, let's not forget all these things still happened during the pre-colonial. All right, during the I said pre-colonial, during the British administration. Let's not forget. All right, all these things happened during the British administration. All right. So we have unofficial members that were African, 6 of them. All right, Africans. Are we together? Okay. And we have elected unofficial members that are in Lagos. Let's not forget. All right. That's elected unofficial members in Lagos. Please let's note down all these points. Okay. And we have 5. We have 1 elected unofficial African members in Calabar. All right, elected unofficial member. All right, in Calabar. All right. So we have a total of, this is 27, this is 30, all right, 39, all right. We have this and everything is 46. All right, in the Nigerian Council. Please, a total of 46, all right, both the unofficial and official, all right, both the elected in Lagos and in Calabar. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, the Legislative Council was to make, all right, Legislative Council was to make laws subject to the governor, veto, all right, and reserve power. All right, council. All right, make laws. All right, which are subject, all right, to the governor. That's not for, there's a governor general, governor, veto and reserve power. Governor, veto and reserve power. All right, basically that is it for Clifford. And it also spoke Clifford also has his own criticism too as well. Okay, so let's look at that. So permit me to erase the board so we can look at the hopeful that by next week we should be done with this course so that we can take some other course. Now, some of the setbacks the criticism of the Constitution, that's a Clifford, was that the Executive Council critics all right, executive council, all right, is executive council is mostly dominated, all right, by whites, all right, white officials, by white officials, all right, to the exclusion of Africans, all right. A lot of Africans were excluded in the executive council, which is a great serves as a great setback, all right. Another defect is that now North was excluded from the purview of legislative council. All right, which is not supposed to be so. All right, the northern part is not supposed to be excluded from the legislative council. All right. So one of the greatest merits, all right, of this constitution is that, all right, it introduced, all right, striking feature, all right, all right, it introduced one striking feature is that it introduced one striking feature of the 1922 Constitution is that it introduced, all right, elective principle, all right, an elective all right, and elective principle here simply means, all right, providing for the first time in the history of, all right, for the first time in history, elective principle was introduced, all right, and this provided opportunity for Africans to elect their representative, all right, the opportunity for Africans all right, elect their representative, all right. Let's pin that down. Let's pin that down. That's 1922 Constitution. Okay, the 1922 Constitution. So it's the striking feature is that it introduced the elective principle, giving Africans the opportunity to elect, all right, their representative, all right, and participate in the legislative process, all right. all right, participate in the elective process. Okay, now let's take more points. Now it was during this period that the first Nigerian National, all right, Democratic Party, which was led by Albert Macaulay, was formed. All right. The first national, okay, the first Nigeria, all right, the first Nigeria, all right, National Democratic Party. That is NNDP. All right, was formed. NNDP was formed by Albert. I think I should write the name in red so it can be visible. Albert, all right, Macaulay. All right, Albert Macaulay. Okay, now we have that as that. Also, this constitution encouraged the establishment, all right, of newspaper. Encouraged the establishment of newspaper, all right, of newspapers. Encourage establishments of newspaper. You can see all these amazing things under this 1922 constitution, all right. So permit me to raise the board so we can take more points. So now let's note this point, please. About Macaulay, all right, founded the Daily News in 1925. All right, in 1925. Please note this point. All right, Albert Macaulay founded the Daily News in 1925. All right. Also, Sir Kitoye, all right, Ajasa, all right, founded the Nigerian pioneer in 1926. The Nigerian pioneer in 1926. All right, please let's note all these points. Also, the Nigerian Daily, all right, Nigerian Daily Times by Adeyemo Alakija, all right, a Lagos lawyer, and he founded, that's Adeyemo Alakija, Adeyemo Alakija, all right, founded, all right, Nigerian Daily Time, the Nigerian Daily, all right, the Nigerian Daily Times, all right, and a Lagos lawyer, all right, Adeyemo happens to be a Lagos lawyer, all right. A Lagos lawyer. Also, we have Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, right, founded West African Pilots. All right, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Dr. Zik, as shortly pronounced. All right, West African founded West African Pilots. All right, this was a good time. All right, a lot of things were introduced and the constitution permitted them. Okay, so we have one of the defects of this constitution, all right, is that the composition of the executive council was predominantly Europeans. Africans were not represented in the council, all right. Despite the enormous power this council wields, all right. So we have that as that. So some major improvements, all right, that the 1922 Clifford Constitution, all right, did over Los Lugar's Constitution was that the 1922 Constitution, all right, matched and enlarged the Legislative Council, all right. Clifford of 1922 matched and enlarged the Legislative Council. All right, matched and enlarged the Legislative Council for better, all right, effect. Introduction, for the first time, introduced, all right, elective principle, which was lacking in the Lugard's Constitution. All right. It also stimulated the political awareness of more people, all right, stimulated political awareness. Awareness. All right. People were drawn towards politics. So we have that as that. So let's take these last few points. I will call it a wrap for today. Now, let's start nationalist and political movement. Might not be able to finish it tonight. All right. And political nationalist and political movements. Okay. Now, the emergence of early political parties, all right, during the period, all right, was a product of the activities of nationalist leaders. All right. So political parties, the emergence of political party was a good avenue, all right, for activities of nationalist leader, or yes, nationalist political parties, emergence of whole parties, all right, foster the activities of nationalists, fostered the activities of nationalists leaders. Should I say, yeah, leaders. Now, so before we even talk about whether political party fostered this or that, let's talk about the term nationalism itself. All right, so we can understand how well, all right, so we can understand the effectiveness, all right, of the emergence of political party, all right, and how it's fostered nationalist leaders. Now, let's talk about the term nationalism itself, all right. Nationalism, what is it all about? This is somewhat a complex concept, all right? It's quite complex, all right, to grasp in terms of definition, because there is, right, because there is no single factor to which it could be traced. But now look at this. Nationalism is usually a passion for unity. I love this definition. A passion for unity. All right? A passion for unity. Okay? Community of tribes, geographical contiguity, all right? Contiguity, religious and cultural affinity, and what? To crown it all, political and historical aspiration. A passion for unity, all right? Political and historical, political and historical aspiration. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, it is the association of men and women who have or believe that they have the following things in common. Right? People that believe, individuals that believe that they have the following things in common. All right? Common ancestry. All right? Common ancestry. All right? Meaning common history, tradition, language, culture, religion, and share common boundary. All right? According to the word of according to the word of Price in 1967, all right, the association of men and women, all right, who believes they have, all right, who believe they have the following things in common. All right, things like common ancestry, common ancestry, all right, common history as history, tradition, all right, language, all right, culture, religion, all right, and boundary. Okay, so that is it. Nationalism. I hope we all are on the same page. So according to the word of Price in 1967, so that is the all and sundry of right, nationality. Now the word nationalism can also be explained with the premise of a state, all right, of a state giving the symbiotic relationship between, all right, now it is also said that a state, all right, and nationalism, all right, a nation have, all right, have what we call symbiotic, all right, relationship. All right, they are most referred to as the same thing. All right, but basically a nation and a state are two different things. All right, just to sum it up, a nation, all right, is bigger in spare. All right, is bigger in spare. All right, is versatile compared to a state. All right, so this we'll discuss properly in our next class. So we'll just call it a wrap here for today, and I so much apologize for the network issue and everything. Okay, I believe you have been able to gain a thing or two in today's class, and I'm very positive that next week we should be concluding, if I'm not mistaken, we should be done with this course. All right, thank you very much, everyone. All right, I keep saying, let's start studying early so we can cover a lot of things together. All right, and there's no way you become a member of the class, you go through consistent studying, and you will not come out successfully in your exams. All right, it is not possible. All right, because in a private class we have classes consistently, no matter what the condition is. We try as much as possible to have classes covering all your courses. All right, thank you very much, everyone. For as many of you who might be interested in still being a member of the class, all right, do well to reach out to me going through the website, all right, www.tutorial.com, or check the description of this video. All right, so thank you very much, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all in subsequent tutorials. Bye bye.